Time now for our 360 round. For that, I want to bring in our panel to preview NVIDIA's earnings. Those due after the close today. Joining us now is Beth Kindig, CEO and lead tech analyst of IO Fund, and Brian Szytel, Senior Managing Director, Partner, and Co-Chief Investment Officer at the Bonson Group. Thank you both so much for joining us today. Beth, let's talk about the setup today. We are expecting to see momentum when it comes to both EPS and revenue. Revenue is expected to top $45 billion there. What's your expectation?
Yeah, my expectation is that any dips based on China should definitely be bought. We are seeing AI demand continue to blow past estimates. Just 2-3 weeks ago, CapEx is again much larger spending from big tech on AI than what analysts had foreseen for this year, and then again for that quarter. Secondly, what I would say is the next 2 to 4 quarters, it's all about the next generation of GPUs. This is Blackwell and Blackwell Ultra. We have not seen shipping in volume a new generation of GPUs since NVIDIA's AI run began. So you can't overemphasize the importance of these two generations shipping simultaneously in volume come Q3, Q4, and beyond.
Okay, Brian, let me ask you, what's your expectation going into this, and how much does it matter?
Well, to the last point, it definitely matters. This is the largest weighting in the S&P 500. It sets the tone for the entire artificial intelligence landscape, and so it matters to the market. We're expecting $1.01 in earnings. One of the things I'll say, with the allowance of Nvidia to start shipping the H20 chips to China again, remember those were written down on their balance sheet, and now they have, while they have a revenue share with the government that they have to come up with of 15%, that should be accretive. And I'm watching what they're going to talk about in their guidance for the quarters ahead with relating to the H20 chips in China.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, Brian. Let me ask you, Beth, about your thoughts as it relates to what we are looking to hear on China and the chips there.
Yeah, as somebody who's covered NVIDIA for many, many years, I will first say it's surprising and shocking to me how much coverage China gets. We're talking maybe $15 billion a year. And again, I'm going to keep hammering on Blackwell and Blackwell Ultra. The NVL72 SKU alone is worth $100 billion in data center revenue. I mean, it's shocking to me that there's so much emphasis put on China. Although I do understand that $5 to $7 billion, which is what one quarter impact could be, can create a miss or a beat. But again, you have to understand this is a company that builds AI systems globally and has demand that far outstrips supply. And the reason that you have to go back and just keep this in perspective is that China is insignificant, even compared to one generation of GPUs, which again is Blackwell, which is now shipping, and Blackwell Ultra will be also shipping in volume simultaneously. The market has never seen anything like this.
Beth, just a quick follow-up on that. So really the focus needs to be on Blackwell today, and what does that look like, what demand looks like, and how they can meet supply on that front?
100%. Even last quarter, right? We saw that impact from China, and Blackwell was able to absorb it, the snap of a finger. So I'm saying that, you have to really drill down into what the product line is for NVIDIA that's most important.
And then, Brian, let me ask you your thought on this in terms of the tone set. You mentioned obviously how much significance its weighting is in the S&P 500. Can't forget about its weighting in the NASDAQ as well. Often in recent quarters, it sells off even if there's a beat and a raise. What are you expecting in terms of what tone this sets for the broader market?
Well, they beat out of 18 out of 20 times here on earnings, so I would expect them to come out ahead of what we're looking at on the earnings side. As far as where the stock goes, your guess is as good as mine on the day. I think it'll set the tone for the sector. The setup is positive overall. You've got Blackwell, you've got their next generation Rubin chips that will most likely be a part of guidance as well. But my point is more just at 57 times earnings here, you're paying for a lot of this already baked into the stock price here. So it's more about a go forward and what can you expect from the company from an earnings standpoint.
All right, we will leave our conversation there for today. All eyes on Nvidia later today. Thank you so much, both of you. That's Brian Szytel from the Bahnsen Group and Beth Kindig from the IO Fund. Appreciate your time and setup for Nvidia's earnings. They'll do after the closing bell today.